What is going on internet? Welcome to Ducardo Gaming. This is a new gaming channel. This is actually going to be a gaming theory. A lot of the games I play a lot of mobile games, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale. There's a turret or tower defense game I like to play. It's pretty challenging. So those are mainly the games I play, but I also play a lot of games on the Xbox, the 360, the Switch, and computer games. So I'll probably be doing a bunch more of those. This is actually the first video I want to do. It's a theory. It's the first theory video I'm going to do. It's not so much a theory as in a strategy that I subscribe to. So I just got the Switch and I just got Pokemon Shield. For the record, fantastic game. The graphics are amazing. You probably hear some of it in the background. It's actually on pause right now while I do this video. So I went into this game not looking for any strategy. Looking to play it. Looks excited to play it. After I got through the third gym, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look up a strategy video, just kind of see what I can do or what I might have done wrong. And I came across a video that was explaining the best starter Pokemon. So I'm like, okay, let's see if I got this right. And after going through the logic of it, I didn't get it right, but I'm still good with the Pokemon I have. But I got to thinking of it, and I kind of want to apply that same logic to the first gen, Pokemon Red and Blue. So you have 3 Pokemon you get to start out with. You can get either Bulbasaur, Charmander, or you can get Squirtle. Okay? Everyone has their favorite one. Everyone has their reasons for picking their favorite one. Bulbasaur, one of the reasons for picking Bulbasaur, for example, is your first couple gyms are going to be very easy. You're going to blitz through the first gym. You're going to blitz through the second gym. You're going to do okay in the third gym. And you're very neutral in the fourth gym. So you start the game off pretty easy. The problem is the end game. Blaine, you don't do too well against Blaine. And you're going to have a lot of ice and fire guys in the end game. So not as effective as a Pokemon as you would like when it comes to the end of the actual game itself. Okay? So that's my opinion of Blastoise or Bulbasaur. That'd be the reason to start Bulbasaur. Is he starts out the easiest in the game. And the next one I would say is Squirtle. Squirtle, most people start out Squirtle because in game he's one of the strongest Pokemon to have. He has one of the highest defense ratings at the end of the game. He's very hard to take down. The first gym you blitz through. The second and third and fourth gym you don't do too hot against. So it makes it so you're kind of the mid game. You got to play a little bit stronger than the end game. You're going to do very well against Blaine and then Giovanni, and then Charmander. People always say Charmander is the most challenging because he can't do well against the first gym or the second gym or the third gym. He'll do well by the fourth gym, but the first few gyms are going to be kind of a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to go with the logic that I saw in this video, and I'm going to explain it. And I've always done Charmander. I didn't do it for this reason, but now that I think of it, it actually makes the most sense as to why you go this route. Charmander, I believe, is the Pokemon you go with, hands down. It's hands down the best Pokemon to go with. Here's the reason why. Look at it from a standpoint of what you cannot get, what you're missing out on. So if you go with Bulbasaur, that means you don't have. I'm trying to find a good list. That's why I'm looking this way. My computer's right here. I'm trying to find a good list of first-gen Pokemon. So first-gen Pokemon... Okay, here's a decent list. Okay, so let's say you go with the first-gen Pokemon... Oh, go that one's... There, that's better. Okay, so if you go with the first-gen... This is first-gen only. I'm not going beyond that. I'm not going anything else. Okay? If you don't have Bulbasaur, what are your options? Well, after you get past, let's say you go with Squirtle, or if you go with Charmander. Well, after the first gym, you come up to Misty's gym, and you have a very, very good option, 2 very good options of Leaf, depending on what game you're playing. You have Oddish and Bellsprout. Both of them are adequate. They evolve into Vileplume, and the other one evolves into Victory Bell. Both of them are very strong grass types, and there's not too much of a drop-off between Venusaur and Vileplume and Victory Bell. You can obviously go a little bit later in the game and get Execute if you'd like, and Tangela. I personally wouldn't go that route. I'd just go with one of those 2 and call it a day because both of them do evolve into very strong Pokemon later in the game. So that is why I don't go with Bulbasaur, because you have a good option you can go with. Not to mention, I don't always go with a grass type to begin with, because I don't think grass type is a I think of all the main types, I think it's the weakest, personally. Not going to get into that. This video is not about which type is the weakest or anything. But I will say if I'm going to go with a grass type, I straight up will go with Oddish or Bellsprout because their evolved forms are just as strong as Venusaur. Yeah, Venusaur I think might have a higher defense, but I mean it doesn't really matter. When you get the end game, a lot of them are fire anyway, so you're not missing out on much when it comes to that. It's not much of a drop off between the two, so that's why I don't go Bellsprout. You have two good options, or that's why I don't go Bulbasaur. You have two good options when it comes to the plant type you can take. Okay, so the next option is, okay, so let's say you don't go Squirtle. What are your options? Well, you have a lot of options, actually. So you can easily get a water, you can get Magikarp before you can get through the first tunnel. There's a guy in the Pokemon Center right before the tunnel where you can buy Magikarp for 500, whatever the currency is, dollars, gold, whatever it is. And you can have, I'm a grinder, so I will literally go to the grass area below that, and I'll grind and get Magikarp up to level 10, and then I'll put him right in front of my group, my team, so he gets all the experience, and I'll get him to level 20 before I even get to miss his gym. I do that every single time I play. The other option you can go is if you don't want to go that route, and you don't mind waiting a little bit and you just want to build the rest of your team, you can go the route. As soon as you get to Lavender Town, you can get the good rod, and you can catch a Poliwag, which Poliwag, I like Pokemon to have three evolved forms, or three evolved forms. You have Poliwag, you have Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath. Poliwrath is a very strong Pokemon. If you evolve him the right way, and I think you have to use the Water Stone to evolve him, he's a very strong Pokemon. So you're not having a drop off in water strength if you go with the Poliwrath or the Gyarados versions. There's obviously other water Pokemon you can have. I don't see other ones as strong as those two. But if you like other ones, like some people, I guess, go the Lapras because you get handed a Lapras in the game. Some people go the route of Vaporeon if you want to go that route. But really, you're not missing out on too much if you're going the route of getting Gyarados or even Poliwrath. The only thing I would say about Poliwrath is you get him a little bit later in the game. And the problem I have with that personally is you're missing out on experience points. So you're not as strong at the end of the game as you can be. So I always say try to get your team established as early as possible, and build them throughout the entire game. Okay? The next one, if you don't go without Charizard, here is why you go with Charmander. If you don't get Charmander, the first fire Pokemon you come across is you have to get to the city where Erica is. Okay? I don't remember these city names. For the sake of my life, I cannot remember these names. Okay? So you're missing out on potentially you're just missing out on some of these on having a fire Pokemon from not quite the beginning, but beginning to that point. And you're only going to have the options of Growlithe or Ninetales, which they're not horrible options, to be honest. But the only other fire Pokemon options you have is Ponyta, Magmar. You can get Flareon if you want to go that route and get Eevee and get Flareon. That is a possible route to go in Moltres. But the problem with those two is this is the problem with using like rare candies to evolve Pokemon. You can evolve Pokemon to level 100. If I have a level 100 Pokemon that I've fought with from the beginning, and you have a level Pokemon you caught at level like 30 and just used rare candies, I'm going to whip your ass every time. Because my Pokemon has experience, and his stats can be higher because he's built them through experience. And that's what I'm arguing is the best reason to have Charmander. With Charmander, you can literally have 5 of your guys established before you even get through the third gym. Okay, so let's say I start with Charmander. This is what I do personally. Start with Charmander. I get Pikachu. Okay, I get Pikachu in the Brilliant Forest along with either a Mankey or I go with a Caterpie and evolve it into Butterfree. That's what I do. And I use the Caterpie or the Mankey, the Butterfree, the Mankey to beat Brock's gym. After that, they don't really have much of a purpose, but I'll probably hang on to them just to make sure I don't faint. My goal is to not pass out or white out or black out once in the game. That's my goal personally. Then I go to the next area where it's right before the tunnel, and I buy the Magikarp. And I buy the Magikarp and I go level them up to level 10. Put them at the beginning of my team. I have Pikachu. I have my water. I'm getting Magikarp, and I'm going to level him up. And then I go through the tunnel, and he gets all the experience from that. He levels up pretty quickly if you do that. You can get him level 20 before you even face Misty's gym. When you come out of the tunnel, there's a grassy area right there where you can actually run around in and get Bellsprout or Oddish. You can get either one of those. Get them. Now you have established your fire, your water, your electric, and your grass. And there's a trick that I use. I'm not going to explain how to do it in this video because I don't want to tell it wrong. I always watch a video and I do it like verbatim, side by side with the video when I play this. There's a glitch you can use. If you catch an Abra, you can actually get a Mew. You can get a Mew in the game. He's level 7. I'm not going to go into that, but just Google it. It's definitely available for you to do. And you can have literally your fire, your electric, your water, your grass, and your psychic Pokemon at that point in the game. And then you just got to decide what you want beyond that. Some people want to go Ghost, which isn't bad. Some people go the route of Rock, which isn't horrible because it will definitely help with what's his name's gym. But I usually just do a Diglett, and the Diglett basically Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon can't really do much to it. So that's the route I go with that, but it's really up to you. You can use a fighting Pokemon if you want to go that route. But that's really what my strategy is whenever I play Pokemon Red or Blue. I prefer to have Oddish over Bellsprout, if I'm going to say that. And I prefer to have Gyarados, but I do not complain about having Poliwrath. Poliwrath is a very strong, good water Pokemon with fighting capability, so you don't have to actually double dip and get another fighting Pokemon. However, I do think Gyarados is more powerful. So that's the theory. The theory is that's why you take Charmander. Is because it's not because he's the greatest one to have. It's because you're going to have your team more established early in the game, and there's not a lot of other great fire Pokemon alternatives. You have to wait till later in the game to do that. That's pretty much it. That's my video. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Decardo Gaming. My name is JD. The reason why I named it Decardo Gaming is because a lot of games I play, I always just had the name Darkado Gaming, or Darkado. I just put it on there. I just came up with it once because I'm a big Batman fan. Dark Knight, so Dark, and I just Darkado is as how it came about. So that's the name of the channel. That's how I got its name, pretty much. And this is my first actual theory video. So like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you watching. Have a good one. See you.